Thank you very much for the nice introduction. Respected Chairperson, Director of Public Health, and my dear friends. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the nice opportunity. I feel really proud to be one of the synergy to enhance the public health. So this is really a best opportunity I feel. Before going to the lecture, can I have the first slide, please? So I would like to say a few points about how best we can integrate in both communicable disease as well as in non-communicable diseases based on the earlier researches as well as inferences happen in the post-COVID era. Globally what happened and in Tamil Nadu what happened. So how best in future we can integrate and how to be prepared for that. So few points I would like to tell in my lecture. So before going to that, I would just put one small slide about what's happening in the global era about Ayush and other herbal medicine. Everywhere the market is going like anything. The 6-fold, 10-fold rise of market in both in the manufacturing side as well as in the service side is there. This is what it means actually. The inquisitiveness about traditional systems of medicine, herbal medicine, or rationalized phytomedicine, or functional food, or dietary food supplements, nutraceuticals, everything is increasing globally. So we should understand that the quest is everywhere. So we should prepare how best we can utilize that, how best we can rationalize, and how best we can make it into evidence-based to the needed people. That is the real idea to give some points in my lecture. Next slide. So you may all aware about Ayush. What is Ayush? You know that Ayush is Indian systems of medicine, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha. The S denotes two systems of medicine, Siddha, Sivaraman. Sivaraman is actually Tibetan systems of medicine, and Yoga, Naturopathy, and Homeopathy. All come under the Ayush category. And Siddha, among Siddha system of medicine, is actually more prevalent in Tamil-speaking world. Majorly in Tamil Nadu and few parts in Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, and few people practicing globally where the Tamil population is little high. Next slide. Before telling about Siddha, I could tell one thing. There are a lot of explanation about how Ayurveda, how Siddha, how this yoga, naturopathy, everything established. There are many philosophical references are there, many mythological references there, many experiential or empirical evidences about all these systems historically. But as a whole, if you take, these are all the repository of the whole experiences of the mankind from the ages. That's why we can take. There is experiences documented on those days with their knowledge, on those days documented. Around the world is there, not only in India, everywhere, all part of the nook and corner. I can always say, even a small country like Guatemala, in the tip end of the Northern America and between Southern Africa, there is a very small end, and they have traditional systems of Guatemala medicine. They are treating many non-communicable diseases. They are managing many non-communicable diseases with that their own experiences like that. So it is not new to only to India or only to Tamils or like that. Everywhere the experience is there. West is slowly putting with the analytical eyes and exploring the best possibility to get the best outcome from the traditional system of medicine. Next slide. First I would like to tell, next, is it new? The integration, I would like to say whether is it new. Second, next. What are the past experiences on the integration? Next. What is the current research is going on? Next. And what are the real challenges? Next slide, please. So before starting the word integration, because the word itself, little bit of paradigm thinking in many of the people, whether the word integration itself, is it correct? Whether it will lead to either it is paving way to the quackery, whether it is the person practicing one system with the other system, some kind of mixopathy or some kind of quackery and mispractice may happen because with the word integration itself. Not like that. It is not like that. Integration is actually one can complement each other. Wherever possible, with the limitations, one can complement each other. This is to why we have to complement each other, particularly to get quick, affordable, accessible results with evidence and rationality. Also, there is one unexplored science. This Ayush system is actually still unexplored and unexploited science by the researchers. If we start integrate, if you think integrate way, definitely there is the best possible way to explore to develop new molecules and new regime. That is the another hidden area in integration. Throughout the world, particularly in the Chinese system of medicine, the exploration of Chinese system of medicine, they are coming up with new molecule. Now the new molecules are used by the Western world very well. You know about the history of artemisinin, and the Nobel Prize got by the Yu Thun. She got the artemisinin from a native Chinese regime, but she did 30 years of intensive research. After that, she saved 10 million population in malaria. So that there are a lot of scope in the research, in the area of research in Ayush. Next slide. Already in India, you may all aware, being a public health personality, that national program on non-communicable diseases, they had started the research earlier itself. They do nearly 86 districts, they had done a pilot level work. Now recently, last 3 months before, they started a protocol between the Department of Ayush and the Ministry of Health, started writing a integrative protocol for non-communicable diseases management, where we can work together. They are thinking now. They took the IGT, the impaired glucose tolerance people, as well as early diabetic people. How we can best to treat them integrately. The work they have started. Next slide. This is the one major area I used to propagate. I actually evangelize the traditional functional foods and nutraceutical in globally around the world. Still, I can say most of the modern physician, most of the allopathic physicians should understand why it's a ray of big hope. Even last week, I was there in Tamil Nadu Agriculture University in the Center for Biotechnology. I had a long discussion with the agriculture biotechnologist people about the black rice and red rice. I got a fascinating results what they had done in the last 5-6 years. Really, these kind of information from the academia, from the research, should reach the policymakers as well as should reach the physicians. Why they are telling there are 37 varieties of Mappallai Chamba in Tamil Nadu itself. We talk about Mappallai Chamba, really 37 varieties are there. And in Kauni Arsi, the black rice, there are also several varieties are there. Why we are all propagating the functional traditional rices of Kauni and black rice? Not only because of the little low glycemic or little fiber content. There are many functional molecules behind that. You know, the black rice is having plenty of anthocyanins and the red rice is having plenty of lycopenes. Beyond that, they have phytosterol, stenol and catechin. Many small fractional molecules are there. If you use it along with your either metformin or dapagliflozin, whatever drug you are writing for the diabetic patient, if you can able to write these kind of functional rices, that will definitely help them to maintain the normoglycemia at certain level. So these are all almost 3,000-4,000 years of taking these rices. They are using in most part of the China and India, many places. So there is no need for big clinical trials, or there is no need for intensive phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 study for these kind of rices. So traditional rice varieties, like the traditional millets, then traditional spices, they are all having a lot of functional fractional molecules. So we, the physician, should understand the science behind and how best we can integrate in our in our regular practices. We should think about that. This is the big ray of hope in Tamil Nadu I could able to see. Next slide. And these are all the history. You may all aware about that in smallpox and chickenpox. Now we eradicate smallpox. Though on those days, what are the things they practiced for managing the chickenpox and all? We should. Next slide, please. Actually more than 300 million people died in that one smallpox itself. But on those days they had used 2 things only, neem and turmeric. Everybody aware about neem is good for the virus and turmeric is good for the virus, we know. But how much work they had done in these two elements, I would like to say. Why we have to know. Next slide I will say. Next slide please. In the name itself, nearly 1,000 plus research articles have been published. If you go and do the PubMed research, you can find out nearly 1,000 plus, and most of them are indexed to journal researches. There are plenty of outcomes are there: antipyretic, antacid, anti-contraceptive, anti-dermatitic, antioxidant, anti-cancer. Many small papers they are published in the neem. The same thing in the turmeric. Next slide. In the next turmeric itself, these are all the human studies in various publications in the human studies itself. Even in the breathing hydrogen also. While if you take regularly turmeric in that will actually influences the gut biota, and so that how it will prevent the colon CA. There are many human trials also they are done, and there are plenty of paper with the neem and turmeric. Next slide. Next slide. Why I told about neem and turmeric? Neem turmeric we know for the ages, but recently we had some experiences in dengue as well as chikungunya and this COVID management. There are several claims here and there with the Nilavembu Kudineer and Kabasura Kudineer. You may all aware in your PHCs, because of the government last GO, we all distributed the Nilavembu Kudineer for chikungunya in 2006. Actually, it was initiated by an allopathic physician only. First time when in 2006 December, when most of the people got the arthritic pain because of the chikungunya, post-viral arthralgia, when everybody depends on the only painkiller. At that time, my professor, Dr. C.N. Devanayagam, actually I was a PhD student under him. He is an allopathic physician, renowned pulmonologist. He only first suggested to government of Tamil Nadu to why don't we utilize this Nilavembu Kudineer. These people are using that for regularly to managing the pain and fever. With that only that history starts. Now you know the Nilavembu Kudineer, how it managing the dengue as well as chikungunya. There are several papers published by the National Institute of Siddha and Central Council for Research in Siddha. Next slide. Next slide. These are all the several papers published on those time. Next slide. And this is one important point I would like to say. See, there is one particular plant called Cisampalus pereira. Now, one very leading pharma is going to patent that plant, Vattathiruppi. In Tamil it is called Vattathiruppi. This plant is widely used by the Siddha physician, especially is one among the traditional kashayams we use for the Nilavembu Kudineer as well as the Kabasura Kudineer. This Vattathiruppi is now they found it is how it is affecting the dengue 4 strains, how it is acting. Now they are extracting one fractional molecule and they are going to patent that. And that maybe in future it will come up for some anti-dengue medicine, whatever right now we are using. It may come like the Tamiflu history. Next slide. You know the history of Tamiflu. We all use this star anise in biryanis. We may aware about it. We all use the star anise. That what we are right now is asamaltavir. The Tamiflu is derived from the star anise only. They took the shigmic acid from the star anise. From the shigmic acid only, they take the asaltavir. So these are all the possibilities. If we can able to dig and do a proper research and proper clinical research and phytochemical research, definitely there are plenty of functional molecule, fractional molecule, we can take it from Nilavembu Kudineer and Kabasura Kudineer also. Next slide. Next slide. You can come to the last slide. Next slide. So these are all points you may aware in the COVID time, the first wave, second wave, how much we had the public health department utilized the Nilavembu Kudineer and Kabasura Kudineer. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. There are 3 RCT I would like to emphasize here. At the time when we introduced the Kabasura Kudineer, there are a lot of questions arise from the allopathic system of medicine. Do you have the evidence? How dare you can utilize this Kabasura Kudineer and Nilavembu Kudineer in a public health challenge when the entire world is in a highly stigmatized and highly painful condition? How you can utilize? This is the question arises. It's a valid question. We know. At the time, after the introduction of NVK and KVK, after that, there are 33 publications published from the Central Council of Research in Siddha. Among them, 3 publications are RCT trials where allopathic doctor and Siddha doctor both worked together and published in the indexed journals. And both are telling that they are all allowed only for the people who are in mild to moderate, where 80 to 82% of COVID people affected with the mild to moderate. We are not all permitted for severe and critical cases. But one thing, there is a shift from the mild to moderate to severe or critic. But in the clinical trial, wherever it happened, no one patient are shifted from moderate to severe or moderate to critic. And after the studies, after the COVID era finished, there are 33 publications with how it acts, whether it is a virostatic, whether it is reducing the opportunistic infection, whether it is improving the efficacy of the lung. Lot of papers they had done. So these are all the information I would like to share. There are plenty of opportunities when we try to integrate, when we really want to do some studies clinically. Please, I request all the physicians from various parts of Tamil Nadu, you are here. All the general physicians with various perspectives, various cadet, you are there. Nearby your physician, wherever you are working, definitely there will be some Siddha physician or Ayurvedic physician or naturopaths. Somebody will be there. Have a dialogue. If you have a dialogue and you have a debate also, with the dialogue and with the debate, if you evolve a consensus, if you evolve some consensus, that consensus lead to a dispassionate research, and the research may lead to a good product, and thereby it will good for the human health in future. Thank you. With that, I conclude my lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I am one of your fan of Aram Thinai of Ananda Vigadan. I am very pleasant to see you in person. So you enlighten us about the Ayush, and I myself tried this Kupaimani and one skin condition called pityriasis, rosacea, and I saw the cure in my own eyes. Thank you very much, sir, for your very much wholesome scientific presentation.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Somasundaram, sir, Additional Director, PHC, to felicitate the speaker. Thank you, sir. I request